if you are trading in different regions or you have customers that are coming to you from different locations and you are invoicing them in different currencies and you're a new user to HubSpot, one of the main things that you're going to need to set up is currencies. Currencies allows you the ability to create your deals in multiple currencies, and then that also extends as it relates to its invoices. Once you create the deal, you have the option of choosing which currency you want to run the deal in, and then from there it's going to default as it relates to your quotes or your invoices. How do we go about getting that set up inside of HubSpot? Well, we're going to take a look at that now. All right, so once you are inside of the system, one of the areas that you'll need to go is where it says settings. And then from settings, you will come across to where it says, on the side here where it says account management, you'll be looking for where it says account defaults. And in account defaults, you'll notice that you have a number of tabs that's here. We want to go to the tab that says currency. Now with the tab that says currency, so I already have two currencies that's actually set. The main area that you're going to be looking at is the area where it says add currency. So if you click on where it says add currency, you'll be able to add, and if I were to put in, let's say, Canadian dollars, I can add Canadian dollars here. And if you understand, if you know what your exchange rate is, normally I will do this if I go to the bank's website and I will see what the exchange rates are, I would actually do that from there. So I can set the currency from here. And once I set the exchange rate, I will then click save. However, there's a different way you can actually go about doing that. If you switch this on, that's called schedule automatic exchange rates. And what will happen here is that HubSpot will set the exchange rate because it will be using the data from the internet to monitor the day's exchange rate. So if it is that we were to switch this on, and I leave this where you could actually come back and you could look to see as to what has been the exchange rate over a particular period of time. So you can look at where you're looking at monthly, quarterly, or yearly. I'm just going to leave it for monthly and I'm going to click update. Now, if I wanted to now go back and add the same Canadian currency that we had there from before, if I were to click where it says add currency and I look for Canadian, notice the one difference now, it's going to tell me, right, that if I just click save now, it's just going to be monitoring what that exchange rate is. So it already has the default exchange rate based upon the currency that I'm actually running in. What's also important too when you're running your currencies is there's something that you can do where it says your default currency. So even though I am trading in multiple different currencies, if I'm managing or if I'm looking at what the business is based upon, so if I charge somebody $6, what does that actually look like in my currency? You could actually set a company default. So your default currencies, you have the ability of editing the company currencies here. And you could look at maybe setting Trinidad and Tobago as your default currency altogether. So this is the company's currency that we will always get our reports in. So even though we know that we are invoicing customers in US, if it is that we wanted to see what does that translate into TT dollars, then this is going to be able to, once you designate this is where it has the ability of then showing you what the company's currency is. The good thing too is that if you would like to go back and look at the history, so if you wanted to see, well, what has been the history of the exchange rates over a particular period of time, if we click view history, it's going to give you an idea as to what the history of the exchange rates have been. But I don't have any of that because I've been switching it on, taking it off, and that type of stuff. But you can actually identify what your previous history has been over a particular period of time. Nonetheless, though, once you've done that, as I said before, once you've set your currencies, you can now come into your deals. And once you're in your deals, you now have the ability of not just seeing your local currency, but you get to see any other currency that you've been trading in. And guess, look here, you actually have the exchange rate. This one is a one that we set as default from before, but you are in US dollars, and here it is in the company currency where it says TT dollars. So if it is that you're managing your business, the organizations that you're working with are from different regions and you have to invoice them in different currencies. If you go into your default settings in HubSpot and you update what your company currencies are and you set which one is your default currency, you'll have the ability of running your business or doing business easily. And that information translates into any other ERP that you're using as well. But that's how you go about managing currencies inside of HubSpot.